Let's talk about fake malachite. Now, this is a malachite stalactite, which is dreadfully fun to say, but leads me into a topic about fake malachite. Now, this is the second episode of a series that I'm making about materials and minerals and crystals that are prolifically faked, and my god, malachite is one of them, but fortunately it's quite easy to tell. Now, first of all, what is malachite? Malachite is this green material which they think etymologically is rooted in mallow, because apparently it resembles the mallow plant. I know a hell of a lot more about minerals than I do about plants, so I can't really lend any credibility to that. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But malachite is a weathered variety of copper ore. It's a secondary mineral that we tend to find in the oxidized zones of copper deposits. And it's not overtly rare. We can find it in various different places. If you can find copper, you can find malachite and iterations of malachite, like azurite, for example, which is a blue color. Now, if you look online for malachite, very often you are going to encounter things that are just posing as malachite, but there are very good diagnostics that you can do to gauge whether or not it's real. Now, for the most part, when people are buying malachite, they're buying polished varieties of malachite in things like jewelry. You see this a lot in the sort of elastic bracelets and things like that, and they tend to come from a country in Asia that begins with C. Now, when you look at polished malachite, it tends to be characterized by green and black. However, when you look at real malachite closely, you'll realize it's not green and black. It's just a very, 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 very dark shade of green in conjunction with a lighter iteration of green. Now, with fake malachite, which in many situations are actually comprised of wood, by the way, you'll see black and green. Now, if you see black, put it back. But if it's green, it's very often okay. So dark green and lighter green is a very, very good sign that it's actually authentic. Now, another thing that you want to look for in malachite is a lack of symmetry. Why? Because God does not design in straight lines. However, the people that make replica malachite don't seem to have picked up on this. So with replica malachite, you very often see overt symmetry occurring along the surface of the material. What should be irregular concentric banding tends to have a high degree of symmetry to it that you don't really see in things like nature. So there are two diagnostics that I would give you that are fairly easy to remember. There are others. Weight is a factor as well, but unless you've already got some real malachite, it's difficult to really make that comparison. So I'm going to give you two that are easy to follow. If it's black, put it back. If there's straight lines or just an overt level of symmetry, it's not real.